Functions and graphs revision here. We're just reminding ourselves of a few ideas on limits. Okay, here when we have x approaching, the limit is of x approaching 3, and we have an expression here, all we're doing really is we're going to replace the x with what it's approaching and see what happens. So if instead of the x in x squared minus 4, we're going to put 3 squared minus 4, and we get a final answer of 5 there. 3 squared is 9, take away 4 is 5. So that's okay if you've just got a normal expression outside to the right of the limit. We just replace it with the thing that the x is approaching underneath, and seeing how it turns out. We've got to be a little careful. We can't just do that every time. Let's have a look at a couple of examples where it's trickier than that. Here, if we replace the x each time in this expression as it stands, we'd have a 0 on the bottom of our fraction, and that can never work. So if you find yourself getting stuck on that, you've forgotten to do something really important, and that's to factorize first and do some cancelling down. So what we're going to do is notice that we can factorize the top as x outside of x minus 3. And then we've got an x on the bottom that we can do some cancelling with. So you've got to factorize and cancel, and then you're allowed to put the 0 in instead of the x. So here you'll see we've factorized it out, and we can cross off the x. We can say x goes into that front number once and into the bottom once. So we're actually left with just our x minus 3 as our expression, and when we substitute in instead of the x as 0, that 0 can go in where the x is, and so we get a final result there of 0 minus 3, or minus 3 is our final result there. So we factorize first, cancel where possible, and then we substitute in that number that the x is approaching. Here, if we substituted once again minus 2 into this bottom, would end up with 0 on the bottom, and that's very bad news. But if we factorize first, and sometimes we might need to factorize using PSF, this is a quadratic on the top here, we factorize out and we get actually x minus 3x plus 2, which is really handy because we have an x plus 2 that we could put in brackets on the bottom there, which can cancel out. And that allows us to have a substitution, instead of an x, a minus 2, that doesn't result in the bottom ending up being 0. So now, once we've cancelled out the two x minus x plus 2 brackets, we can substitute in, instead of the x, we can put a minus 2 in there and have minus 2 minus another 3. And then making minus 5 from that. So we factorize, we look to cancel. I don't think there's any s's in cancel. Cancel down, and then we can substitute in the x approaching whatever value we're talking about and get a final result there. Alright, some quick reminders of what we do with limits there. Hope that helps. Catch you next time.